games, blockbusters, heroes reach here. It's Nostalgia Mania, bringing back the years. And here are your hosts, the real Josh Elliott and Bryan J. Baby!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to yet another edition of Nostalgia Mania, episode 54. I am your host, the real Josh Elliott. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Bryan J. Baby! What's up, man?
I should have worn that shirt. I have it.
You should have.
Hey, not a whole lot. Just here again for another great episode.
Yes, it's always fun to close out every month because that's our wrestling episode. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun and talk about some pro wrestling that you and I are both very fond of.
Yes, sir.
So
Actually, we had a show last Friday.
yes, we did. Yes, we did. Almost a full week ago today. Can't believe it's already been almost a week.
See, promoting Fountain City and won't even give us a little love at the show.
Yeah, we'll get some love eventually. Don't you worry.
Yeah. We will. I told you I'm slipping in $5.
$5 is $5.
Hey, $5 is more than $5 more than you had when you got there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are here. We got we're talking about WCW Halloween Havoc. You can see there at the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got the chat. I put it up on the screen. It's kind of right over the top of Bryan. If it,
I cannot read because it's so small. So if
yeah,
there's
it's
anything important, you got to let me know.
Yeah, well, I'll still be able to bring up the comments here. So we will do that. But also, for those of you watching live, you can see the comments from every platform right there. I point in the wrong direction. So if you're on YouTube, you can talk to Twitch. If you're on Facebook, you can talk to YouTube. Whatever, right by Bryan J's picture. So you guys can, Bryan J. Baby. So anyway, yeah, we're here. It's episode 54, man. We're chugging right along, and we're going back to 1997, which is just a few months after the last wrestling show that we did. We did SummerSlam 97. So we're talking. Oh no, we didn't. We did Raw. Sorry, we did Monday Night Raw 97. We talked about SummerSlam because it happened just recently, but we talked about Monday Night Raw 97, which was in August.
Yes, sir.
So we are here, and usually we like to start off each and every show, as we always do, with the vintage report. However, we're not going to do that this time.
No.
I got a brand new segment. It's a little game we're going to play for Bryan J. He has no idea this is coming, so this is news to him, just like I can tell you.
I did not.
We're going to play a little game. It's wrestling related, so it'll be fun tie-in to the show before we kick things off. But we're going to play a game of what came first. So I'm going to give you two instances in pro wrestling history, and you're going to tell me which came first.
This will be fun.
Are you ready?
No, but yes, let's go.
All right, let's see how well you do. I think you do all right. It's a fun little segment here. So, all right, for the first one, which came first? Whose WWF debut came first? Rowdy Roddy Piper or Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Ooh.
You got the old Hot Rod or Hacksaw?
Oh, man. I want to say Hacksaw because he's older, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with Hacksaw.
Go with Hacksaw. Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
Oh.
Incorrect. Hacksaw Jim Duggan debuted in 1987, and Rowdy Piper debuted in 1984. So a couple years difference. Piper got the first, though. So All right, 0-1. Let's see if you can get yourself on the board
0-1.
here. I got 5 questions, so we're gonna see how well you do here. Right. So, which came first? Scott Hall's first Intercontinental title win, or Lex Luger's first United States title win?
Luger.
Luger is correct. Nicely done. Luger won it in 1987, and Scott Hall won the Intercontinental title in 1992.
Yep, I remember watching Luger. Or I remember watching Hall win, and yeah, Luger had been far earlier.
Yep. So nicely done. Nicely done. You're on the board now. You got 1. You're 1 for 1. Or 1 for 2, I guess. So, all right. So the third question. Which came first? The first WWF In Your House pay-per-view, or the first WCW World War III?
I am not positive on this at all. I'm gonna say World War III.
It was a very good guess. Unfortunately, that is not correct. It was not correct.
Well, it wasn't a very good guess because I got it wrong.
Well, it was a good guess because they both debuted in the same year. So, In Your House debuted in May of 1995, and World War III was November of 1995. So, all right. So you got 1 for 3 so far. We got 2 more. We'll see if we can close out strong here. So, all right. Which came first? Yokozuna's final WWF match, or the Big Show or the Giant's WCW debut?
Which came first? I'm going to go with the Giant.
The
WCW
Giant.
debut.
Right. That's a good one. You got it. The Big Show, the Giant debuted in WCW in May of 1995, which was before Yokozuna's final WWF match, which was November of 96. So you are 2 for 2. Let's see if you can close out with a win and get that last one.
Just so everyone knows that I actually watched most of this stuff, and Josh was probably in diapers for a lot of this.
Yeah, I was definitely in diapers in the first one.
Maybe not in the 90s, but...
Yeah. I was hopefully out of diapers by the 90s.
Yeah, hopefully.
I might have been a late potty trainer. Who knows?
He wasn't. He was out of diapers.
All right, so you've got 2 right, 2 wrong. So this one right here will determine whether or not you win the game, or you get more correct than you do not. So here we go. This is going to tie in right to what we're talking about. Which came first? The final WCW Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, or the final televised ECW event?
The final ECW event.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Final answer. That is incorrect.
Oh.
Incorrect. Again, I say good guess. This also happened in the same year. The last October, or the final Halloween Havoc happened in October of 2000, and the final televised ECW event happened in December of 2000. So there you have it. I went 2 for 3, or 2 for 5, I guess. 2 wins, 3 losses. So what'd you think of the new segment?
That was tough as shit. But I liked it.
Awesome. Well, good deal. Yeah, I was figured I would throw a little something different in for the wrestling episode. So we'll interchange that from the vintage report, and we'll do a vintage report for the movies. So with that being said, Brody Hall says good addition. I like it. Appreciate you, sir. So you ready to jump into the main event here? Not the main event of the show, but the main event of Nostalgia Mania, and that's Halloween Havoc 97.
I am, but just so you know, after we're done, I have the candy edition of your 1 through 5s, like you got me with last time.
Oh, the blind ranking Halloween candy. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I like it. Okay, we can do that. We'll set that stage up toward the end of the show. Also, do not forget, during our wrestling episodes, we like to look at who were the champions from each brand, each company at the time, and we'll put them up against each other as if they are going against each other at this time. So we're going to look at the television champion versus the European champion. We're going to look at the Intercontinental versus the United States, the tag team champions, and the heavyweight champions doing battle tonight at WCW Halloween Havoc. Whoever were the champions in October of 1997. And it's a good one, man. We got a lot of good matchups. This one's much better than what we did for Monday Night Raw. Even though it only a couple months later, just a little bit of slight changes in the champions made it. I can't wait to tell you.
Belts changed a lot more than they do nowadays. I mean, they would change on a Raw. They would change on a Nitro. You know, it wasn't wait to the pay-per-view, then the belt might go to somebody else.
Don't even get me started on Goldberg's Georgia Dome Monday Nitro. That was a pay-per-view match that happened on free TV.
I have a lot of things I could say about Goldberg, and I would not be liked by the people who like Goldberg.
Fair.
It's all legit stuff, but and he was a big money draw, and I get why he was pushed. However, there's just certain things that he should not do, like wrestle longer than 5 minutes.
Which he did not do very often. So they used him to his best ability.
They wanted to build a beast, and they built the beast. I'm just saying.
That they did. But that beast fell quick.
He may have.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump back into the Wayback Machine and head to 1997. October 26th in Las Vegas, Nevada, MGM Grand Arena. What is it going to take to bring down the NWO, which is the hottest thing going in pro wrestling by far at this point in time in 97? Yeah. What were you doing in October of 97?
Well, Josh, this is actually the first pay-per-view after my wife and I got married. So we were newlyweds. And
newlyweds watching wrestling.
But watching wrestling, yes. I married the right one. I'm just going to say that.
Yes, you did. Nice. Nicely done. Yeah, I had just turned 10 years old, so there's a little bit of an age difference between us.
It's just a little, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It doesn't matter. Only in times like these when you can make fun of me for being old.
Yeah. It's all right. I probably got just as many gray hairs if I didn't do something with this beard. So anyway,
it's just gray hairs is just when life happens to you.
Yeah.
That's why I typically shave my head and the bald spot here.
Yeah, it's covered up. It's all good. We're good.
Yep.
So let's set the stage a little bit. We're in 97. We're red hot. NWO invasion. We're 16 months or so into that storyline. The takeover is well into effect. We're in the midst of the rivalry. WCW is just killing WWF in ratings at this point. Right in the middle of the 83 weeks, and we're seeing Hollywood Hogan running rampant. Sting's lurking up in the rafters. But we talked a little bit off air. WCW's kind of at the peak, but right at the tipping point, right? They're right
close.
there. Yeah.
They're close. Because what was it in, was it 2000 when McMahon bought WCW?
2001.
2001. So, I mean, they've got a little bit longer to go with this NWO because, as you've seen, even in this pay-per-view, they hadn't split off into the red and black yet. But they are starting to bring more and more people in.
Yep. And we always like to run off and talk about the commentary crew before we start these wrestling shows, which consisted of Tony Schiavone, as usual, Dusty Rhodes, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and to start off this show for the first couple was Iron Mike Tenay. So we start off again, third. Well, the WWF one didn't, but the last WCW show we did started off with a 4-man booth, which was very crowded, lots of people talking.
Very.
But however, what I would have done, obviously, with going back in time, armchair quarterback, is start off with Tony Schiavone and Mike Tenay, just two. Let Mike, because I know why they use Mike Tenay. He's very knowledgeable in the Lucha Libre. He knows his moves, knows his stuff. Very underrated commentator. Start him off the first 2 matches, and then let him go about his business, and then bring in Dusty Rhodes and Bobby Heenan, make a big deal about it, and then they can close out the show. However, they didn't do that. They just all 4 would be there, and they were, like I said, a lot. There's a lot of people talking.
There was a lot, and at times it wasn't bad, but there's times where it's just too much.
Yeah, agreed. So let's jump into this first match. We had Yuji Nagata, well known for New Japan, with Sonny Ono, who at this point in time, Sonny Ono had kind of broken off from Ultimo Dragon, who was his opponent, Ultimo Dragon, and Sonny Ono is kind of bouncing around from wrestler to wrestler, trying to bring people in to take down the Ultimo Dragon. And this time it was Yuji Nagata who makes his WCW his debut at this point. I don't think he's wrestled in WCW prior to this. So love this match, man. It was a great opening match as WCW normally does. And what do you think of Ultimo Dragon and Nagata here?
It was good, really good. That's pretty much my notes. Is it's so damn good. I've always been an Ultimo Dragon fan, as I think I've stated in the past, and Nagata was really, really good. I like how there's 2 different styles. You have the Japanese strong style, and then you have the very flippy lucha style. And normally, I'm not a huge Japanese strong style fan. It just, to me, I grew up watching, WWE or WWF, and even before then, and in the territory days, and it was kind of similar, So I've already seen it, But once I saw lucha, I fell in love with it, and it's because it was fast paced and it was good and flippy, and this whole match started off that way, and Nagata was very, very good in it.
Yeah, and I love his. He does have a lot of strong style wrestling for sure. He has a lot of technical ability and showed it here. And also, to your point, Ultimo Dragon is that lucha hybrid style as well. He's not super flippy, but he does have that lucha style to him that kind of makes him kind of flashy. Yeah, and he can do a lot of quick moves.
That fast pace, go.
Yeah. So as good as this match was, and not Tony Schiavone, but Mike Tenay did a phenomenal job setting it up, telling us who Nagata was, who Ultimo Dragon is. We already knew who Ultimo was a little bit, but Bobby Heenan being Bobby Heenan, did you hear the name he called Nagata?
Yeah, I didn't write it down though, but yeah, I heard the
He called him Yogi Nagata.
Yogi Nagata. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
we got, Acai Moonsault. That was the one we wrote down at the last WCW show.
Yep.
Mike's name and a big deal about that one. And yeah, man, it was a phenomenal match. Great opener. If you had to, and we could do this if you want to, let's start giving star ratings to these matches as we go through this. What would you give these out of a 5-star? Where would you rate this match?
I give this one a 4 out of 5.
I like it, and I was going to say the same thing. 4.5. You're not going to get much better out of an opening match than you do a good style cruiserweight bout, and this was as close to that as possible. So I give it a 4. So, all right. Next match, we've got.
So we went from a very great match to this match.
Yeah, this one was it. So the next match is Chris Jericho taking on Gato. Did I say that right?
Yeah. I think they said Gato and Gatto. So
yeah. So
I've always said Gatto, but
yep. So I'll go with what the announcers say because that's on my mind. They kept saying Gato, so I'm going to say Gato.
That works.
This was set up in a Japan company. Jericho and Gato wrestled and it was not New Japan. I believe it was. I don't even remember what company it was, but this match happened across the world, and it came here. However, as you heard, anybody who has watched the show, there was absolutely zero crowd reaction for Gato because nobody knew who he was.
It wasn't as easy back then to see matches from Japan unless you traded tapes with someone from Japan. That's really the only way you could watch it. They didn't have those pay-per-views over here.
Yeah. Yeah, the match, I mean, it wasn't awful. It wasn't good. It was kind of right there in the middle. What did you think? At one point in time, Chris Jericho went up for I think it was a Frankensteiner, and there was some sort of miscommunication, and Chris Jericho landed right on his neck.
Oh, yeah, I cringed watching that, and I mean, obviously, he was fine, but yeah, it's oof. Yeah, I have 3 notes on this match. All short notes, but the first one was classic Jericho because he did all of his classic moves, the lion salt and all that. My second one is this is how I saw it and I mean back then I watched this pay-per-view back then, and like you said, no idea who Gatto was. I said very long squash match because didn't seem like he got that much in. He did, but not much. Right. And then Lion Tamer for the tap out.
Love the Lion Tamer.
Oh yeah.
Love when he gets that knee right in his back and he kind of crinches in to the side. Love the Lion Tamer, man.
Yep. I mean, to me, it was just a long squash match, and I you can agree or disagree. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, if you've got a sibling and you've never put them in a lion tamer before, are you even a sibling?
No. No.
And my sister can attest to that. I have put her, whether it be the lion tamer or the Boston crab, one of the two, sharpshooter, whatever. My parents would get pissed at me because I'd be
all of it. Yep.
She's 3 years younger than you, Josh. Quit doing that.
trying to crawl to the other side of the room and you just pull her back in the middle.
Yep. Yeah. So, man, but how good was Jericho, man? Like,
he was great.
he was one of, like, I was a huge Jericho fan before, and I feel like this, before it was cool to be a Jericho fan. I remember him turning heel in WCW, and I loved, and being as a kid, I used to always root for the good guys, boo the bad guys. I was just that kind of fan growing up, but for whatever reason, I gravitated toward Jericho, especially during his heel run. And he's still like about a year away. I think October of '98 is when he became the man of 1,004 holds, and he was feuding with Dean Malenko. With
Malenko, that was great.
So, and before this is before Ralphus too, which was comedy gold.
Right. Yep.
So
yeah, he's very good.
What I know you weren't a big fan of it. I'll go first this time. I'm going to give the match two stars. What are you going to give it?
We're close. I put 1.5.
1.5. All right. There you have it. Now, you had the downer match.
Yep. Up, down, up. It's a roller coaster.
It is a roller coaster, but now we are going up probably the steepest roller coaster hill probably of all time. Pretty damn close. You can argue that this is the steepest hill because we're getting ready to experience Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Jr. mask versus title in an absolute masterclass. And like I said, you could argue this to be the best match in wrestling history and probably not have much debate, but I don't think you can name one definitive better WCW match than this one.
No. I mean, it's definitely top 3 of all time. But I think, definitely WCW, this was their best match ever.
So I love Rey Mysterio, have his entire career. One of my favorites. I was never, now I knew how good Eddie Guerrero was. I never gravitated toward Eddie Guerrero as much as a lot of fans did. However, that does not mean I didn't know he was a good wrestler or didn't think he was a good wrestler, because obviously he was one of the best in-ring performers ever. And he showed it here, being still not excelled to his full potential yet, because we saw what he did in WWE and going on to win championships, heavyweight championships, whereas he's being kind of held down in WCW here. But man, arrogant, cocky, technical, vicious. That's all Eddie Guerrero in this match.
I've always loved Guerrero. I mean, I was one of those people that, I saw him and he comes walking out strutting real slow with his music. And the whole attitude and everything, the whole character plus the wrestling, like he had it all. And so that always pulled me in.
Yeah. 100% agree, man. He's one of the all-time greats. And Rey Mysterio on the other side, man, same kind of thing. Like he was building up. He's only 22 years old at this point.
Yeah, young.
Super
thin,
young.
Little. But I did notice he and Eddie weren't that far apart height-wise.
You're right.
You look at them, you always, I say you, but I mean, like in general, people will see Rey in the ring and think, man, that guy's tiny. And he is on the shorter side. But then you see him next to Rey and you're like, you never said that about, or you see him next to Eddie. You never said that about Eddie.
No.
Maybe it's because his hair is up a little bit more. I don't know. But like just looking at them when they were standing facing each other before it started, I was like, they're kind of similar in size.
Yeah. And they worked so well together, man. And Eddie is, the storytelling alone, not even knowing what any story happened before this match. If you just sat down and watched this match, not knowing any of the backstory, right? And you're watching this and you're seeing Eddie just arrogantly throw Rey around and, constantly grabbing at that mask and eventually ripping it, right?
Yeah.
He's about ready to rip his mask off mid-match. Like, take out all that and use, that's part of the masterclass of the wrestling, right? Like, that's what makes wrestling so unique. Like, because you don't only get wrestling, you don't only get story, you get both. And when you get a master of both, this is what you couldn't have done it better.
Yep. There's not really much we can say about the match other than how good it is. It's although I did rate a couple of notes, which is amazing match, action right away because they start off hot too. But my first note was Purple Rey. And and when I say purple, if anyone watching us has not seen this yet, Rey is in one of those full body purple costumes with gloves, and you cannot see anything but his eyes. Like you see the people that dress up in the green costumes where you can't see their face. It was like that with the eyes cut out, basically. So he was purple.
Yeah. What'd you think? Did you like that look?
I did. I thought that was awesome. Now, back then, I might not have, but looking back today, you're like, oh, that's really badass.
Yeah. I agree. I'm the same. Yeah. Like I said, the notes I had was we kind of already touched on most of it. I wrote down the springboard moonsault DDT.
Yep.
Like that was so perfectly timed. People today can't time that any more perfect than they did.
Yeah.
What a move.
And the Hurricane Rana from the top rope.
Yes.
Eddie had him up there, was going to do something, and then Rey flipped it around and did a Hurricane Rana, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I honestly did not remember that.
Yeah. It had been so many years since I've seen this match from start to finish, but I'm so glad I did. And so glad we picked this one. Because what we're getting ready to get into after this is kind of a rocky slope, but I'm glad you picked this one because, like I said, this is 100%.
And for all of you who don't know, when I mentioned this, Josh is kind of iffy on it, and I was like, it has Eddie versus Rey, and I'm pretty sure that sold you on it because I know you heard about them, and this isn't the first time they wrestled, and it wasn't the last by any means, but this was the best.
This was the best, yeah. Yeah, when you first mentioned it, you said 97. I was like, we just did 97. I said, also, This is Hogan Piper. This is Age of the Cage. And then you said, but this is Rey and Eddie. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then
Rey and Eddie, yep.
That right there alone is the sole reason, yeah. Worth the price of admission. Yeah. So,
absolutely, 100%.
And there's no question this is 5-star.
5-star, all the way.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who watches this would say otherwise.
Yep.
Oops.
That's all right, because we're getting ready to go into an absolutely slobber knocker of a match here.
Boy, are we!
And we're going into Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Emphasis on the slobber.
On the slobber. And the setup to this match was that Mongo and Deborah were kind of at each other's throats. And originally, I don't know if you knew this or not, the original opponent for Steve McMichael was supposed to be Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
But Jeff Jarrett just recently left and signed with WWF, so they had to make a change. And the storyline just stayed the same. They just kind of inserted somebody else. And Deborah makes some not innuendos, but she kind of teases an opponent and says, and Mongo says, you need to give me my credit cards back, my wedding ring back. Because she said, absolutely not, earned it, blah, blah, blah. And the mystery opponent
is none other
than the German dancing Alex Wright.
Alex Wright. And if you don't know who Alex Wright is, anyone watching, he was in WWE after WCW, and he was always the warm-up match guy. I have seen him wrestle Jimmy Wang Yang more times than I could count.
I will say, man, and I might get some people not agreeing with me. I think Alex Wright was a great talent behind a terrible gimmick.
He was. That goes for his whole career. He could have done a lot, and he was a good wrestler.
I mean, go back to when he was Das Wunderkind before Alex Wright and before he was dancing. And then also, even after that, which he still could not get past the dancing stigma, was when he changed and went heel and turned into Berlin, which was still another stupid gimmick. But his in-ring ability was great. He was just masked over this dumb dancing gimmick. And you can't say the same about Disco Inferno. He was just a bad wrestler in a bad gimmick. Alex Wright, I think, could have been good.
So Alex Wright dances a lot better. I can tell you that much.
You're right, and but I do like Disco Inferno's song more than I do Alex Wright. So that's
okay. So he has him in one thing, the song. We agree on that. Yes.
Yes. So there was not a lot to say about this match. Did you want to? Did you have any notes written down for it, or?
Yeah, my first note was the entrances took almost longer than the match, because it seemed like it took forever for them to get down to the ring.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Like, I know it's a pay-per-view. People want to get their money's worth, but yeah. And then afterwards, the Goldberg speared the ref towards the end of the match. And I don't, it's been a long time. I don't get why Goldberg did that. So.
Well, this was his WCW pay-per-view debut. He's only a month in. It's only a month into his streak. He's brand new. People still don't really know Goldberg or know what he's going to become at this point. Right. So, and Deborah ends up paying him with wasn't it Mongo's Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, like, Goldberg comes out, and the storyline to it was not bad. Football player versus football player. Right. It could have been. It was two not very good in-ring wrestlers. However, they were building Goldberg. His streak was just starting. He was a monster, and that's how that match ends. So, yeah. It was good stuff. It was a good build, I guess, for that portion of the match. That was a good build. For a star rating, though, I can't even give it a full star. I'm giving it a half a star.
I was thinking 1.
You're going 1 star? Okay.
I was going to 1 because I thought because of the storyline, I was giving it the 1 for the storyline, basically.
All right. I like it. So at this point in time, before we move on, we're about halfway through. We'll do one more match, because this one's going to take quick, and then we're going to jump over to our champions versus champions match, because this one's going to go fairly quick. We're going to go into the guy we just talked about, Glenn Gilberti, or better known as Disco Inferno.
Glenn Gilberti.
Versus Jacqueline in a non-title television
unsanctioned
what was supposed to be a comedy feud turned intergender match. What are you gonna say about this one?
Disco sucks. The match was bad. It by no means was it bad on Jackie's part or Jacqueline's part. Other than her wrestling gear. I mean, I get it. It's the 90s. It was a very sexual time for wrestling and showing women off, and her top came down and it kind of barely covered. I mean, it was like a one piece like outfit, but one of my notes here is many almost wardrobe malfunctions during it. And when I say many, I mean like after every move, she was moving stuff around. I think Jacqueline was always good, but I just think this was kind of like a waste of her talent.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, you don't. Come to think of it, and I realized this back when I started collecting, and I say collecting, I've only got two. You can see them behind me, or on this side, it'd be easier. The championship belts here is WCW had a women's championship belt. However, they only had like a handful of women's championship matches because all they had was Medusa. And then who was Medusa going to fight was a couple of the New Japan women, and the rest of them were Nitro girls and valets. Yep. Like Medusa left or I guess Alundra Blaze left WWE, WWF to come to WCW to a roster of no women's wrestlers.
And Jacqueline actually started out as a valet for Harlem Heat.
Yep.
I mean, she started out that way, but I mean, she was already a wrestler. She just, I don't know. It was a waste of her talent. I would have rather seen her and Medusa go at it.
1,000%.
That would have been a much better match.
Yeah. But as you said, back in the 90s, wrestling companies, WWF, WCW, both, they just did not care about women's wrestling at this point. All they wanted to do is put them in the skimpiest outfits, and that's all they wanted to do with them. So it sucks, especially now with how good women's wrestling is now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So I'll start this one off, and I'm going to, just for Jacqueline alone, I give this 1 star.
Yeah, and I had written down a 0.5 star as well. I was not a fan of it, so I'm going to stick with mine. And it's only It was only memorable for how bad it was.
Yep.
Just 10 minutes of stalling. So
there was quite a bit of stalling in it. Yes.
Yeah, from Disco. So, all right, let's jump into this. We're going to look at every wrestling show. We're going to take the champions from each company and put them in a match against each other and see how well of a card we can make and how good of a card this would be if it happened at this time. So we're going to pretend that this card is happening in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand for WCW Halloween Havoc. So without further ado, let's take a look at what these matches would look like. And the first one, we're going with the Disco Inferno as the WCW Television Champion, taking on the WWF European Champion, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. What do you got to say about this one?
I'll take Shawn Michaels and a squash match. I'd say this would be very, very quick and about 2 to 3 minutes long. Shawn Michaels, 100%.
Yeah, could not agree more. This would be a terrible match. However, this is the only terrible match that we're going to see because every other match is going to be a good one.
Well, let's be honest, Josh. Is this really going to be a terrible match? Because you get to see Shawn Michaels beat the crap out of him.
You're right.
It wouldn't be that bad. I enjoyed every minute of it.
You're right. But if you're booking a pay-per-view, you're going to have to give a little. I guess you don't have to. I'm going to say you don't have to give a little bit of. Yeah, it's going to be a squash match.
That'd be a squash.
All right. So Brody finds that one humorous. So Broderick, sorry. Oh yeah, you're right. He says HBK doesn't put on bad matches. You're right. He could probably put on a master class with the old Disco.
Yep. I still have a hard time calling him Broderick.
Eh,
But
you
we'll do
get used to it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at the tag match. So this would be a phenomenal match. WCW Tag Team Champions, the Steiner Brothers, taking on the WWF Tag Team Champions, the Legion of Doom. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this match did happen in the past in WCW before they went to WWF as the Road Warriors. But two of the top 10, probably top 10 tag teams of all time is these two, and would make a great match here in 97.
It would. It'd be a really, really good match.
So just probably months away from Steiner turning into Big Papa Pump. I think he turns on Rick as the champion here at some point in time, really, really soon.
He does. Yeah.
So that would be a phenomenal match. I'm going to skip. I'm going to go over to the main titles because this.
Hold on. We didn't pick who was going to win.
Oh, you're right. I didn't want to say. My bad.
Yeah,
God, man, I don't know this one.
We can't just tease the people.
If it's in 97 and we're thinking of the stories that are happening right now, I'm picking the Legion of Doom because Scott Steiner is going to be NWO very soon, and I'm going to call it in this match. So I'll pick Legion of Doom. However, if you take that storyline out of it, I would go Steiner Brothers.
I'm taking Steiners. Either way. I love the Legion of Doom, but I'm going Steiners at this point. The Steiners were hot. Legion of Doom was too, but not quite up there to the Steiners. But it would be a phenomenal match.
It would. I love it. Brody says Legion of Doom. So, all right. So let's
one, man.
Let's jump to the world title, and the reason why I say this is because it's the same world title match that we saw from the last event, because the champions are the same. Hollywood Hulk Hogan is the WCW heavyweight champion, and Bret the Hitman Hart is the WWF heavyweight champion. I can see you, Brian. Nobody else can, but I can see the facial expressions.
Yeah.
Brian is not a fan of this match, as we know, because this happened on our Raw episode last month. So, however, both of these men were recently crowned the champion at our last show, in which we covered in August. So they're now a couple months into their reign. And what do you think? Who takes the win here at Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, I gotta go with the same I picked the last time, which it still irks me that I have to pick between these two, but I'm going Bret Hart.
Yep. And I am as well. I'm picking Bret Hart 100%, just because of in-ring talent. Even though Hogan has his NWO goons, Brody knows. F the Hulk Hogan. I would say it. Yeah. Good old Iron Sheik quote there. So,
I love the Iron Sheik.
All right, so I made the executive decision to change up the main event, because this match right here, this match had never once happened. But this match it'd be a different type of match than Rey versus Eddie, but it would be a absolute masterclass. And we have the United States champion, Kurt Hennig, taking on the Intercontinental champion, Owen Hart.
Ooh.
This right here, main event's Halloween Havoc 1997.
This is a match.
Yeah. Man, I cannot believe this match never happened in WWF.
I can't believe it either. Jeez. That'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so good that I don't know if I could pick a winner. Now, Brody is going Owen Hart. And if I had to pick right here in 1997, I'm also picking Owen Hart.
See,
However, I'm going to continue my thought here. You make this match 1 year prior, and you're taking Mr. Perfect versus Owen Hart. I'm picking Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm at this point. I don't even know. I mean, I want to call this one a double count out. They're both outside of the ring, but this is a coin flip for me. Honestly, I don't know that for the sake of the show, I would probably go with Mr. Perfect. Not that Owen hadn't hit his stride, because obviously he had the belt, but I don't think he was built up with the fans as much as Hennig was.
Yep. No, that's a good one. I like that thought. And as much as I said, I think overall, I'm probably a bigger Mr. Perfect fan than I was Owen Hart.
Yeah.
But like I said, given the time frame, the 97, I'm leaning slightly to Owen Hart. And I'm talking barely, like a millimeter into the favor of Owen Hart.
Like you know how I felt about the last match. I hate picking this match even more.
Yeah. So there you have it. There's the champions. If we continue with our theme of what we're going to be doing next event, our next wrestling event, that's going to be a fun one to look back on, because we're going past WCW. So WCW will not be in existence. So we're going to have to look at a different company, champion versus champion. So that'll be a fun one to look at. So
it'll be fun. Yeah. Don't let the cat out of the bag just yet, though.
No. I don't have a graphic for it, so I didn't have a chance to make the graphic, but we'll talk about it.
We're gonna have a good one for them.
Yep.
And holiday theme still.
Yes, it is. All right, so let's jump into the last couple matches here. We just talked about them. Curt Hennig, the United States Championship match. Curt Hennig is the champion, taking on the Nature Boy Ric Flair for the United States Championship. Basically, Hennig turned on the Horsemen just recently at Fall Brawl, so Flair is taking revenge on Hennig. And fresh off his quote-unquote perfect heel turn, basically betraying Flair. So, Flair, 48 years old here.
Man, Flair came in hot.
He did.
Hot. He came in like guns blazing, ready to go.
Yeah. This was a pretty decent match, man. I didn't hate it. I mean, it wasn't super good, but it was it told the story, had some NWO shenanigans. So, what all did you have written down for this one?
Flair came in hot. There was a lot of outside of the ring stuff, which as Josh and I go through our wrestling, and when we pick something from the 90s, you will see a lot of outside the ring stuff. And yes, it will probably go over 10 seconds most of the time, but and then the last thing I had was so he had Curt Hennig, and they didn't call it this yet, but he had him in the Tree of Woe. And he wraps the belt around him. And then he runs around the ring and then comes up and stomps the belt on Hennig's face. And I just thought that was great. And nowadays, that would have been a DQ. And This match ended up in a DQ.
Yeah,
So.
and he uses the belt to get a DQ because he doesn't care about titles. He just cares about payback.
Just whooping his ass, and that he did.
And the only other pointer that I had written down that you hadn't was Henning wearing Flair's robe, which was kind of that classic disrespect to Flair. I did hear, however, and this is I didn't obviously can't confirm because I haven't talked to Ric Flair, but I read up on this that Flair was not happy about this angle of Henning turning on the Horseman because Flair wanted Henning to continue, but I think he was upset because so many people were going to the NWO that it's like, hey, like at some point something's got to stop. Like, you guys got to stop doing this, and you're turning everybody into the NWO, and Flair was not happy about it. So,
and he wasn't the only one in the locker room.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I gave this one a 2.5 star, and half star because of that robe spot that kind of played into the heel of Henning.
Yeah. So we're still sticking. We're about half a star off again. I said 3.
You're the 3, right?
Because like it was really good, and that belt around the face and the trio woe, I thought that move was fantastic, and I really liked it. That kind of added that half star for me.
Yep, I like it. All right, match number 7. We're getting close here. Scott Hall with 6 versus Lex Luger with a special guest referee, the living legend Larry Zbyszko. What did you think? We haven't talked about 6 yet. What was your thoughts on Sean Waltman as a whole, but specifically coming from the 1, 2, 3 kid into WCW as 6?
I loved him. I thought he was awesome. He is. If you go back and look, he plays the perfect bad guy. Like, because he came in, he was in NWO. Then when his contract ran out, he went back to WWE, and he immediately joined DX. Like, you didn't see him not in DX. And then he went back to WCW, and he was in NWO again. Then he went back to WCW or WWE, and that was the last time he went back, and he was in DX. So, like, that's just like a role that was made for him. I don't necessarily like how they used him as far as coming out with other wrestlers and being the distraction, because watching him as the 1, 2, 3 kid, he can go. He's a really, really good wrestler. And I think that both companies held him down a little bit with that. But as a character and wrestler, I loved him.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like, he broke out in WWF with Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and he's here tonight with him. And he could have done so much with WCW if they decided not to bring him in the NWO or not focus him in with everybody else. He could have been great in WCW, but he just kind of thrown in there with the other 25 guys, and he just was one of the guys at that point. I did want to call out. I don't know if this is the same Sonny that we know. He's over on YouTube. But it says, in the 90s, we almost could have had Steamboat versus Henning in WCW. Boy.
Yes. Yeah.
What a match that would have been, huh?
Is that Sonny Mayo?
I don't know. Sonny Money, is that you? Or he's usually on Facebook if it is, but if it's not, we got a second Sonny in the house.
Oh.
So,
well, let us know either way, Sonny.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
But you are not wrong. We could have had that match.
What'd you think about Scott Hall versus Luger here?
Oh, I have thoughts, but Hall is a legend. Like, from attitude to wrestling ability, the dude just had it. And like growing up watching it, you see him and you're like, oh man, I don't like him. You know, he's a bad guy. But a lot of that, so then you overlooked his wrestling. But going back and watching it now, you just realize how good he was. He literally carried that match, in my opinion. I personally think Lex Luger had a body for wrestling. I do not think he quite had the tools. He had some moves, like the torture rack and some stuff, but I wasn't the biggest Luger fan. But I overall, I think he kind of slows down matches, if that makes sense, because he's not the quickest.
Yep.
So this was a slow match. Of course, NWO shenanigans happened quite a bit in this match. But it's
yeah.
It was a match.
At this point, like Hall is still performing at a high level.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I mean, he's still at the top of his game. One of the best wrestlers, along with Kurt Hennig, that we've continuously talk about here, to not win a world championship in any major company.
Yeah.
Him and Hall are the two biggest ones that I can think of, and you could argue one or the other. To your point, Luger's slow paced, has the body for it, had the look for it, but was never a great in ring worker, but wasn't bad either. I don't think he was right there in the middle.
He tried.
He did try, and I was actually, as a child, I was a pretty big fan of Lex Luger back then. I was so pumped.
Yeah.
4 months ago, when Lex Luger beat Hulk Hogan on Nitro and won the title, I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
And now, like I said, 4 months later, here we are. And then Larry Zbyszko, man, like the crowd loves Larry Zbyszko.
Oh yeah.
Huge crowd reaction.
Horseman,
Yeah. Former AWA champion. I mean, he's now the commentator every time he gets up. I mean, if you remember looking back at some of those old Nitros and stuff, when they'd announce his name, the crowd would go insane for Larry Zbyszko. So much so that every event, Larry do the thing to the crowd every time. Crowd loved it.
Yep.
Ate it up. So
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, mid-level match. I mean, it's probably on the lower end as far as star ratings for me, but I mean, it served its purpose, I suppose. Had a lot of NWO attention.
Yeah. It did.
So, what star rating would you give this one?
I gave it 2.5. I thought it was 2.5 worthy.
All right. Well, we're a full star off this time. I put 1.5.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a little bit lower on my scale. So
yeah, I just looked at Scott Hall. I mean, Scott Hall alone, if he walks out to the ring, for me personally,
right,
it's a 2-star match at least.
Yep. All right. So let's ramp up just a little bit before we get to the Age of the Cage into one of the greatest storylines in WCW history, and that's Randy Savage versus Diamond Dallas Page in what they were dubbing as a Las Vegas death match.
The Las Vegas death match. Also known as a last man standing match, and
yeah, lots of iterations of this
pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. So, Savage is at this point still, top in the NWO pecking order, right? Still an elite worker at basically 44 years old at this point. He is the sole reason why you see that Slim Jim logo right below here. I mean, his contract, from what I've heard on 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, was virtually paid for by Slim Jim. Yeah. Like, they did not have to pay Randy Savage much, if at all. Slim Jim gave so much money to WCW that it paid for Savage.
If you noticed, I noticed, but when he was walking to the ring, as he was getting in the ring, you saw the back of his pants, and on the top, like where the belt is, where a belt would go, it had a Slim Jim logo.
Yeah. I think it said like snap into it on his tights or on his jacket. I can't remember.
Yep.
But yeah, loved it too, man. And Savage is one of my all-time favorites. I'm gonna put him in top 5 every list I make. He's gonna make the top 5 for me. And then you've got an uprising Diamond Dallas Page in '97 here, the taped ribs.
Oh, yeah.
He's
so that was my first note. I made a note to mention this first. If you watched WCW in the 90s, you will see Diamond Dallas Page with his ribs wrapped every single pay-per-view. Everyone. He has everyone. It was a Diamond Dallas Page thing. Like, if he didn't have that on, then he wasn't wrestling,
Yeah, that's fun. I don't know that I've ever seen him wrestle with that. I mean, obviously in WWE maybe, but WCW, you're right. No. I don't think I've seen him wrestle without his ribs taped.
It was there every time because the Monday before, the NWO would jump him and he would have to tape his ribs up because they kicked him in his ribs.
Yep. This feud was voted Feud of the Year in 1997 by PWI. So
and
it was. It had everything beat in WWE, everything beat in New Japan, whatever was going on in ECW. It was the number one wrestling storyline. And it was great, man. It was a great story. And this was the sub story, too. Like, think about this, man. You had Hogan and Sting main eventing Starrcade in 2 months. And Savage and Page was still the feud of the year.
Yeah.
That's saying something. That's saying something. Crazy. So, what a wild match, man. Super chaotic. Yeah. Lots of weapons and
got off to a very hot start.
Yeah.
Like, they came in like Ric Flair. I mean, they were just at each other right away.
The ever-loving crap out of each other.
Yep.
And go ahead.
And I had on here, they used everything, styrofoam headstones. They even used a cameraman in the camera.
Yep.
Glass at one point when DDP got thrown into the styrofoam headstones, and he went over and like grabbed this piece of glass and just bashed Macho over the head with it. And, as a fan of the what do you call them? The street fights in old school WWE, this was right up my alley.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the spot with Miss Elizabeth smashing the platter. And you also got a spot where Kimberly and Elizabeth kind of get into it a little bit during the match as well, which was kind of cool to see.
Oh, yeah.
What about Sting? We saw Sting in this match.
Fake Sting.
Oh, fake Sting.
You could tell by the hair and the face. I'm like, the jawline didn't match at all. Like, and we knew that back in the day. You're just like, yeah, that's not Sting.
No.
And we'll talk more about Sting later. But yeah, that was not Sting. But, hitting DDP with the bat, like, Sting wouldn't have done that. They weren't like friends, but they were allies, and let's beat the crap out of the NWO.
Yep. Yep. I will say this was a super fun match.
Oh yeah.
As I mentioned, chaotic. I would not say it was even though they were the feud of the year, I would not say this was their best match of the year. By far. But it was a good stepping stone or part of that story that helped get them that feud of the year. So, overall match rating, what would you say?
I went first last time. Let you go first this time.
I had 3.5.
Again, we're off by a half. I put it at 4. Just, I mean, it's and mainly because I loved all that, like outside the ring, hit them with everything. And if you're gonna have a match like this, just use stuff. And they used stuff. They were body slamming them on styrofoam caskets, and it was a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah, no, I loved it. And it's funny that I'm about a half star below you every single match.
Yeah, or I am.
And it's funny because before we went live, I felt like you were more critical of this pay-per-view than I was.
You know what? My notes look that way too. Like I'm critical of stuff too, but I mean, I also take a look at it for what it was at the time, and knowing history about it and what came after and what it being in the moment, watching it live when I did, and then I don't know. I just go up half a star, I guess.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. Can't always be there. It'd be a boring show. So we have different opinions. So, yeah.
We can't just sit here and give every match 3 stars.
No. Speaking of boring, we have a main event.
Yeah, there was some funny stuff in this. First off, I absolutely love Piper. He was great. And one of the reasons, there were 4 people basically that you had that NWO came in or whatever. You had 3 or 4 people that hated the NWO and that were going after the NWO. Had they formed an alliance, it would have been better, but it was always Sting, DDP, Flair, and Piper. They were always going after him. Like I said, they should have formed a little group, and at times they did, but Piper is, if you watched any of his stuff before this, like years and stuff, he's unhinged. And my first note was Piper bites Hogan's ass. Hogan was climbing up somewhere and Piper just bit him right on the ass. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was classic. I died laughing when I saw that.
The funny part was he did it again later on.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't once. He did it twice.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're to your point, man. This Piper was another one that I was a big fan of. Though he peaked, and I say peaked, he had his best career when I was a lot younger. So I didn't get to enjoy or really appreciate his work until I was a little bit older.
Sure.
But phenomenal talent. Great heel. Yeah. Obviously not the heel in this one, but
no.
Anti-Hogan, as he always was his entire career. Right?
Oh, yeah.
No matter where Hogan was at, Piper was across the ring or across the aisle from him, whether he's heel or face. So,
and this was classic Piper, just the stuff that he did in the match, and like my notes from here on out are just hilarious on this match. But yeah, it was the fun part about it was watching Piper.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had to kind of just set up the story, right? This was the best pay-per-view in terms of pay-per-view buys up until that point of 1997. It beat everything. It outsold WrestleMania of that year. Halloween Havoc sold more pay-per-view buys than WrestleMania of that year. And the only thing that beat it in WCW, in the entirety of WCW's run, was Starrcade of 97. So this is the second biggest pay-per-view in WCW history.
Yep.
And it was headlined by Hogan and Piper, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I kept saying "Age in a Cage," and that's because that was more so dubbed from the other guys on the other channel, because you're getting starting to ramp up DX and the younger generation, and so they're chirping, so that gets everybody else saying, "Oh yeah, I'd rather go watch the young guys on WWF rather than what we could have seen 10, 15 years ago. But Hogan coming in as the champ. The storyline to this match was basically Hogan wanted Sting to be banned from the arena, or he wasn't going to fight. That never happens, obviously, but you get Hogan's just basically fearing Sting because of this huge build that's coming up to Starrcade. And you see a returning Piper basically wanting to fight Hogan one last time, where nostalgia meets chaos. That's kind of where we're at. I had a note. I mean, there were crazy match, and I'm crazy as in like I don't know how to explain it. Like, not in a good way, in my opinion.
Like WTF?
Yeah, like what the hell happened? How many times did we see Sting in this match, man?
Let me read my notes here, Josh.
Okay, go ahead.
So after I wrote, Piper bites Hogan in the ass and Piper's a wild man like always, my first note, Sting comes to the ring. Second Sting comes to the ring. Third Sting. Fourth Sting. Stings everywhere. Right after I wrote that down, the commentary said, "There's stings everywhere." And there was.
Yeah.
And then, of course, just a bunch of shenanigans after that, up and down with the Hogan and them on the cage. And yeah, so it was definitely a match.
There were at least 4 stings that came out down the ramp and surrounded the ring. There was at least 2 or 3 more that came through the crowd.
They're literally everywhere. There was like 10, 12, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think they showed them all, but there had to have been. But Piper ends up winning. Yeah. And then
So here's another thing that happened that first of all I forgot about, but I immediately remembered this when it happened. Piper wins the match. And I sat there for a second and I'm like, wait a minute. Piper did not win the WCW heavyweight title. What just happened? And I remember the complete confusion when I was a kid watching this match and seeing Piper win this match and not understanding why he didn't walk out with the title. That was a non-title match?
Yeah.
Was it ever mentioned? It was
never said. No.
Before that match, that this was a non-title match.
Little inside scoop. They did mention it the Monday Nitro before, but it was never said on the pay-per-view that it was a non-title match. Not once.
So a casual fan that may not have heard that or realized that went into this thinking that Piper and Hogan are going for the title, which actually I had forgotten was not even for the title. Watching this entire pay-per-view, and then when I saw that Piper won, and I was like, it brought me immediately back to a 10-year-old kid watching this live, because I watched WCW pay-per-views all the way up until basically 99, 2000. And I remember in my house in Grandview watching this and remembering the not understanding what's going on.
So
and that's not even the craziest part of what happened after that.
No, because this fan who decided to not only jump the guardrail, I don't know where he was sitting. I'll have to go back and rewatch the pay-per-view to see if he was actually front row, but this guy jumped the guardrail. And not only did he get in the ring, he climbed the cage, which was at least 12 feet tall, maybe 14. Like, this dude climbed up, climbed down, and as he's climbing down, you can tell this is not a guy who's a wrestler. He's not in wrestler shape. He is skinny, like a string bean. Once he gets to the ring, the wrestlers just start beating the ever-living hell out of him and just pummeling this dude.
Yeah. Anytime you get a fan in the ring, especially with Nash and Hall, they will do everything they can to get their shots in.
And they did. And I think Hogan hit him, and all of them were beating the tar out of this guy. It was great.
Yeah. And you can see like Doug Dillinger getting in there and all the security trying to push the wrestlers off.
And they're not backing down.
No. So like, you want to get in here, you're gonna get it. Like,
so they were beating this dude up so bad they had to cut. Not up so bad. Like, he wasn't like bleeding to death or anything. Like, but they were getting some shots in on his body and stuff. They cut the pay-per-view. Like, they were just like, "Yep, we're done."
Yeah, they had Piper handcuffed right as they got Piper handcuffed to the cage. That's when the fans started coming up, and Hogan, Hall noticed it. Was Hall in the ring, or am I just?
I don't know if he was in the ring yet.
Did Hall get in the ring at some point? I don't know. I for some reason I'm thinking Hall, but maybe I'm thinking of when they turned heel, when they joined the NWO and that fan came in and Hall.
Yeah,
I think I'm thinking of Bash at the Beach.
You might have been, but they had him handcuffed, and there was actually going to be more after that, and there was supposed to be more storyline wise, and there was supposed to be a save. I don't know who was doing the saving or what was going to happen, but they've said before that more stuff was supposed to happen after that. But just so as a note, any of you who go watch wrestling, never, ever, ever get in a ring or touch a wrestler without like a high five. Cool. Don't ever put your hands on a wrestler because their safety comes first. Not that fans don't, but you don't know what fans can do, their mental capacity. This guy may not have known, better, but don't do it.
No. Yeah, which unfortunately that fan ruined. It wasn't a good match. However, it ruined what you would consider a save, which was probably going to end up being Sting. Right, Hogan was probably going to beat up, and Sting was probably going to drop down from the rafters or something and go into the cage and make the save. That didn't happen. It just abruptly pay-per-view went off the air, and that was it. And they didn't even hardly touch Piper. They put him in handcuffs, punched him one time, and then went and beat up the fan for 5 minutes, and then the pay-per-view went off the air.
It literally, they literally stopped the show and turned the house lights up. Everybody left. They uncuffed Piper. Rumor has it, I have heard different things, that Sting was supposed to come down, and also Piper and Flair were supposed to run down because there's more NWO that Sting couldn't handle them all. So that was the rumor. We'll never know if that was true or not. But
what a crazy ending to a pay-per-view.
So star rating on that one, Josh.
Dude, I don't even. I mean,
I'll say I gave it 1.5.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's mainly I give it 1 star for him biting him on the ass, and the half star for just Rowdy being Rowdy.
Yeah, I don't even think I can give it a 1, man. Like, it was so bad. Nothing made sense. The Stings came out at an ungodly amount. There was no payoff. There was no title change. I'm giving it a half a star only because I could give it a dud and just go 0, but it wasn't the worst match on the card, so I can't do that. So I'm giving it a half star just because.
Sounds good. We can do that.
Yeah, I'll give it a half star. But overall, like I said, when I went into this pay-per-view thinking, like, man, we're doing Age of Cage, and I remember that match not being good, but I thought this is going to be a terrible pay-per-view. Overall, I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest with you. Like,
it wasn't the worst. No.
When you think of Rey and Eddie, when you think of Yuji Nagata and Ultimo Dragon, even Jericho and Gato were not the greatest, but it wasn't a bad match. I wish people knew who Gato was so the crowd reaction, because it was dead silent. There was no, the fans did not care.
No.
And then you had Hennig and Flair. Like it, and Savage and DDP. I mean, the overall the pay-per-view, I think overall was probably like 3.5, 4 stars overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'd be about 3.5.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's my opinion, and I'm gonna stick to it. How about you?
Yep. Same here. 3.5.
3.5.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Great pick here. WCW Halloween Havoc.
Yeah,
We're one day, man. We didn't talk about this at the top. Tomorrow's Halloween, man. We got trick or treating time. I know your house is all decked out and spooky stuff.
I am off tomorrow. I took tomorrow off so I could get the rest of my decorations up and go get some Papa Murphy's in the morning so I can cook it. Wife's having hand surgery next Monday, so I'm taking the whole next week off as well. But yeah, Halloween, I'm ready. So with saying this Halloween though, Josh, we've got your 5.
Got your 5.
You get to pick 5 of these and rank them blind.
All right.
I've got the Halloween candies here. Starting off with this Mr. Goodbar.
Mr. Goodbar. I will tell you, I don't know what you have on this list, but I am not a fan of Mr. Goodbar. So I am going to start off with putting Mr. Goodbar at number 5.
At number 5. Okay.
Yep.
Snickers.
There's not much better than Snickers.
Are we not a chocolate fan?
All right. So there's probably only one of mine that I like more than Snickers, and it's going to not be popular opinion. I don't know if you're going to put it on the list or not. So I'm going to put it at number 1 solely because I don't know because there's not much better. There's only one, in my opinion, that's better than Snickers. So I'll put it at
number 1. Okay. Nerds.
All right. So we're not going all chocolate bars. Okay. It's just Halloween candy. I should have known that. I mean, that's what you told me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's let's be honest. Most candy's Halloween candy, and
yeah,
I've seen Nerds.
No. I've seen Nerds too, for sure.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, you went with 2. I just was thinking, okay, it's gonna be all chocolate bars. All right, I'm gonna go Nerds number 4.
Nerds number 4.
I don't hate Nerds. I'll put them at
100% agree. Just regular M&Ms.
That's without a doubt number 2. And I probably would have put that at 1 above Snickers if I knew, because I love some M&Ms. But I'll go number 2 for the sake of the list. So what is number 3 at the final?
Number 3 at the final is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Peanut Butter Cups, number 3. I like this list. I think it's perfect, honestly.
So I mean, you can tell by this list that I am a fan of the chocolate stuff and not so much the others. I was like, you know what? I want to put. My whole thought process was I was going to do to you what you did to me and be like, put like one thing in there that's terrible, but say it towards the end. And I was like, no, I can't do that to Josh. So I'm going to just give him,
Well, you said Mr. Goodbar off the top, and I was like, I'm not a fan of that one, so that was an easy number 5.
And see, had I been in your position and you said Mr. Goodbar very first, that would be number 1 for me.
Really?
I am a fan of the Mr. Goodbar. Unless you said, now you can't find these unless it's Halloween or Christmas, and they come in the fun size Hershey packs, the Crackle bars. I am a fan of the little crackle bars for some reason.
Yeah. What about this is the one you didn't have on the list. What about Milky Way?
Milky Way. See, I like Milky Way, but I figured Milky Way is just Snickers without the peanuts.
It is.
You know?
It is.
Give me the peanuts. I'm a big fan of peanut butter, peanuts, just give me the peanuts.
Yep. I like it. That was fun. Fun stuff.
I said peanut, Broderick.
Broderick's just listening. He ain't talking smack. We're good.
Not yet. Good. Not until he sees me at the next event. Then he will talk smack.
Yeah. January, by the way, cheap plug.
Yes, January.
Cheap plug. All right. Let's close out this episode like we did every. Look at that. Broderick's in the house still. Look at that.
There he is.
We're gonna close this episode out just like we do every other wrestling show, and I don't say every other. We just started it last month. Yeah. And we'll get there. The Four Horsemen. All right. The Four Horsemen. We're going to take a look back at the 4 episodes that we did in the month of October and pick one scene and or match from that movie to be our Four Horsemen all the way through. So if you remember, we did Hocus Pocus, Stephen King's It, Beetlejuice, and Halloween Havoc. We're going to take turns going first, picking a scene from each movie to accumulate our Four Horsemen. We cannot pick the same scene, so that's the only caveat. And we'll start with you first, since you picked Hocus Pocus.
Me first.
And we will go with, go ahead, I'll let you pick your first one. What scene in Hocus Pocus are you going to pick as your Four Horsemen?
It's a tough one. There's a lot of good scenes. Probably going to go with... I'm going to go with when the kids get to the Sanderson sisters' house, which is now a museum, and they're trapped there. And the reason why I'm picking this scene is because when they leave and he holds the lighter up to the sprinkler and the water starts falling down, all of the sisters just start freaking out, thinking that it's the burning rain of death. And it's probably one of my favorite scenes.
I love it. That's a great scene.
Yep.
A scene we did not talk about when we did that episode was when they lost their brooms, and they took off with like a mop and a vacuum cleaner. And
vacuum cleaner. That was great.
Such a great movie. So I'm gonna pick the one scene that you can identify this movie with, and that is when they're at the party or the nightclub or wherever, and the Sanderson sisters sing "I Put a Spell on You," and everyone starts dancing. So that is my scene. I Put a Spell on You.
Also a good scene. Yep.
So second, we're going to go with, that's our first Horseman. Second Horseman, we're going to go to Stephen King's It. And I am going to go with there's a couple great scenes in this movie, but we talked about it in the episode. I think I'm going to go with the probably the scene where at the very beginning where Georgie is floating the boat down the stream of water, and the first time we really see the clown Pennywise in the sewer, and he pops up. Hey, Georgie, we all float.
That's a great scene.
So that's my pick.
Also, one that when you think of it. I, however, am going to go back a little further and say the very opening scene when the first little girl gets taken, and the tricycle's on the side, and the mother comes out looking for her and then starts screaming because it just sets the tone.
It does. It does. Very good. Very good scenes. Sets the tone for the entire movie. So, all right. That's our 2 horsemen. Our 3rd horseman comes from Beetlejuice and Brian J. What scene are you going to pick from Beetlejuice?
Oh, me first this time.
Now, you missed this episode, so you didn't get to talk about it.
I did not. And you all saw my stellar picks for the recast. I kind of want to go with this scene where Beetlejuice is in the model and he's little and he's talking to God, what's her name?
Barbara?
No, the young girl.
Lydia.
Lydia. He's talking to Lydia, trying to get him out, and she's like, "No, I don't know," and just like their whole interaction just cracks me up. So I'm going with that scene.
I like it. I like it. Weird. Oddly enough, I'm picking 2 musical scenes, which is crazy to me because I don't usually like watching musicals, but I am picking when Beetlejuice kind of gets the entire family and Catherine O'Hara specifically to stand up and sing Deo.
Yep, the dinner scene.
Yep, the dinner scene. So that's my pick for that one. And the 4th and final horseman, and I'm going to say the only thing, because we're both going to want to pick Rey versus Eddie. We're going to take that we're going to take that off the table. I'm not going to pick that one. Yep. So I'll take that off the table. And then my Halloween Havoc pick for this show will be the opener. And I'll go with Yuji Nagata versus the Ultimo Dragon.
Damn you, Josh. I had you pegged for going for a different one, and I was like, yes, I can take that one. However, I am very happy that you didn't pick this one, so I am taking Macho Man DDP.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Obviously, we both would have picked the Rey versus Eddie, but since we'll take that off the table, just for the sake of being fair.
Yeah, you have to. I mean.
Yeah. So there's our 4 horsemen for October. And with that being said, before we close out, we are going to advertise what we have coming up for November. So we are closing out spooky season. The pumpkins and the jack-o'-lanterns and the dark backgrounds are going to be going away, and we're going to be bringing in some more earth tones as we get into
fall foliage.
And we're going to go into the Thanksgiving. Where am I at? There we go. So we've got a couple episodes here. We got 4 Wednesdays. I'm off a day. 4 Wednesdays in the month of November. And let's take a look. With next week, we're taking a look at Son-in-Law, a movie I have never seen before.
It is a classic. You will like it.
Yes. I'm excited.
I want to say love it, but I don't know. It's good.
Yes. This is what I really enjoy about this show, because we're able to bring movies to the table that me or you, I don't think I've done one yet where you haven't seen, but there's going to be in a week.
We will this next month. I have not seen one of them, and I will tell you off the air which one.
Okay.
Unless you're showing the graphics.
We are.
All right.
I already know which one you haven't seen then, because the week after Son-in-Law, we're going to be going into Dutch,
which I have not seen.
All right. So you're going to see it for the first time. So Ed O'Neill, man, this is a classic early 90s movie. Have not seen it in many years. I can't wait to go back and watch it. So pure comedy. I say pure comedy. It's a funny movie, so it's going to be a good one to go back and relive. And then the week after that, just before Thanksgiving, another classic, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We both have seen this one, obviously. Steve Martin, John Candy.
We gotta have this one.
Yeah. We can't have Thanksgiving without planes, trains, and automobiles. And then the graphic I do not have. I'm going to let you announce this one because I did not make it because I made it for a different show. We're going to go to 2007. And Brian J., you can announce this one.
So in 2007, we're going back to TNA. And for all of those of you who want to watch along, it is on YouTube. It is free. It is the TNA Turkey Bowl, which is just a regular Impact show. So it's only like an hour and 40 minutes. And it's good. A lot of fun. And you'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna see some obviously AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, some of the early TNA.
Yes, early
wrestlers.
TNA.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I believe Kurt Angle is there at this time.
Is Sting there yet? I think Sting might be there too.
I'm not sure if Sting's there right now or not. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know the beginning you see Kurt Angle.
Yep. All right. Broderick says classic. Sorry, I don't know which movie you're saying classic to, but it's one of those three. Maybe all three. You never know. That's what we do on this show. So good, man. It's cool. Son-in-law, Dutch, planes, trains, and automobiles, and then TNA Impact. We have not done an Impact since the very first Impact we did a few months ago. We got to get an ECW show in here. As much as I want to do Starrcade in December, maybe we do an ECW December to Dismember.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. It'll be good.
An original, not a WWE iteration, like
right.
An original ECW.
Right. Absolutely.
So, Brian J., this might be our longest episode.
It is our longest episode.
I mean, maybe of Nostalgia Mania history, definitely in our co-hosting history.
Yeah.
Hour and 45. That's wild.
It's wrestling.
It is wrestling. We tend to go a little bit later in wrestling episodes. So, all right. With that being said, let's get out of here, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We are Nostalgia Mania. We'll be back on Wednesday night next week with Son-in-Law. I am your host, the real Josh Elliott. This is my co-host, Brian J. Baby. And as always, let's get nostalgic.